I think ultimately if you tie progressive overload into your training, no matter how your scheme is, so to say, whether you pyramid up, whether you keep the weight the same, as long as you're pushing to just incrementally increase your performance from session to session, you're going to get similar levels of growth regardless.
I feel like I still haven't hit that conditioning mark. I always get the same critique every show. It's always that. So I feel like I haven't gotten there to the point where I'm like, okay, I've made it in class, so I'm gonna move up. So I'm just gonna stay there until I can figure it out. And then, the guy that won it was from Florida, and it just didn't feel right for the first time. A classic in Texas is won by someone from Florida. So okay, I'll be back next year. Try to see if I can take that. He said he'll be back this year, so we'll see.
Super Saiyan Sammy.
Yeah, Sammy. Yeah, he's a cool dude. He has a lot of energy. It's down here, if that's a way to put it. So I'm just gonna take as much time as I can and take the whole year off if that's possible. So it's basically what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's actually my logic. With all the shows getting postponed, I figure December is probably our safest bet as far as actually having a show that we can count on. Because after, you know, prepping for a show and it being canceled, it's like I don't want that to happen again. So I'm just being extra cautious.
Sucked.
Yeah.
I don't imagine going through that.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm prepping, like, all my mindset, everything I'm doing is on that show, and if it gets moved, it's like, what do I do with my life?
Exactly, man. You definitely get, and even if you do commit to this show, I do notice that I get like a post-show kind of like, what do I do now? You know, because your whole purpose is dedicated to that one thing, and then it finishes, and you're like, okay, I have to find another thing now. You know what I mean? So
and another thing is staying in your house and not going anywhere.
Yeah. Literally,
perfect recipe.
It drives it. Yeah, that's how it drives us crazy, I guess. Like if it's the beginning of, you know, what I call a mesocycle, which is like a phase of training that's usually anywhere from like 4 to 8 weeks, just depends on how long you want to make it. But I slowly ramp up the intensity by diminishing the reps and the reserves.
Trying to get the ambiance.
If I stay within that like 8 to 12 rep range on that session, I'll either try to beat my repetitions the next week, or I'll just go up in weight. Usually with dumbbells, I try to beat the repetitions. So like, I'll keep the 100 pounds the next week, and instead of hitting 12, I might hit 13.
Easy. What are you doing?
And instead of hitting 10 for the second set, I might hit 11. And now I'm like 2 reps away from failure. And then as each week progresses, I'm doing like 1 rep in the reserve, and eventually on the last week, I'm basically going to failure. And I'm just increasing either the reps or I'm increasing the weight. It really just depends on the exercise. Like a barbell exercise is easier to add weight incrementally to, because I can add like 2.5 on each side, and that's only a 5-pound jump. Whereas like on a dumbbell exercise, it's that 5 or 10 pound jump is a little bit more disproportionate comparatively, because you're obviously handling individual dumbbells, and that kind of makes it a little bit of a harder jump.
Let's go, come on. 4, come on. 5, come on. 6. Back again. Come on.
Oh shit. No, but I tried. Just to make sure. There you go, come on. Yeah, come on. Yep. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Up, up, up. Good. Up, 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 up. Good. Nice. You know, kind of taking a page out of his book, like kind of having those top sets, that's also like another good way to train, because without, you know, like the fact that I was able to go up in weight each set, I mean, I don't usually hit 130 on the incline, right? Because I'm like purposely trying to reserve my energy by doing slightly less weight. But that 130, you know, it's like a shock, you know, and I think that'll make the 100 even easier. So it's definitely, you know, they're both styles that have their own merit, I think. I think ultimately if you tie progressive overload into your training, no matter how your scheme is, so to say, whether you pyramid up, whether you keep the weight the same, as long as you're pushing to just incrementally increase your performance from session to session, like you're gonna get similar levels of growth regardless. You know, it's just the way that you're choosing to do that.
Come on. Come on, come on. Finish, come on.
Him being a taller guy, I think he has more of a bigger room than I'm 5'8", so I have to make 190, so I can't go a certain amount over. So I just have to stay at that certain weight until it's time to drop back down and see if I can make improvements. I feel like I can, but I'll try it out. I feel like I still haven't hit that conditioning mark. I always get the same critique every show. It's always that. So I feel like I haven't gotten there to the point where I'm like, okay, I've made it in classes, I'll move up, so I'm just going to stay there until I can figure it out. It's just more in the conditioning aspect.
It's the break.
Mutant.
I'm basically mostly doing it because it's 5 minutes from my house. It's local, and I actually do like Freddie, and I was there last year, and it was the guy that won it was from Florida, and it just didn't feel right for the first time. A classic in Texas is won by someone from Florida, so okay, I'll be back next year. Try to see if I can take that. He said he'll be back this year, so we'll see.
Super Saiyan Sammy.
Yeah, Sammy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. He has a lot of energy. He's a fun dude to be around.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, come on, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
That's it.
Good shit. The Battle of Texas I did in 2018. So I did it as an amateur, and that was what qualified me for the USA Championships. And I had a really good experience there, and I think it was like we had that camaraderie backstage as amateurs. So that was cool, and I think it's cool that it's in Texas too, because like since it's local, you're more prone to like actually seeing people that are gonna come and watch you that you know and everything like that. That you see in the gym, and I think that's cool. You know, you have that home field
Did you win
advantage.
the overall that show?
I did. I won both
Yeah, I think I
overall
remember
bodybuilding. I won the overall classic
Classic.
physique
Yeah, I
and both
remember.
novice and open.
I was there.
Yeah,
I've never missed a Battle of Texas since the first year. So yeah, that's cool.
yeah. So it'd be a cool story to go back there as a pro. At, you know, the back to the beginning, so to say.
Yeah, it's cool.
So
Hey, come on, keep going.
Tune back for the Battle of Texas.
Yeah,
Dum, dum, dum.
Tune back in for cookies and cream.
ready to witness a new era of classic physique.
That was a pretty good movie.
Yeah, that was movie voice.
One mission to win the Battle of Texas.
No, exactly.
That's really good.
It's